All right, and hello once again, and welcome everybody to Nerve Check. I am here once again with the looks and the brains to talk about the upcoming Masters event that will be in Reno this year. So, before we get going, John, Ray, how you guys doing tonight?
Excellent.
I'm doing well.
Cool. I see you're there with your beautiful new haircut there, Mr. Ray. You're all ready to go for Masters, being the only one of the three of us this time around who is going to Masters. Must be nice to be independently wealthy. But,
Or the only one dumb enough, but yes, one or the other.
I'm just going to keep picking on you.
The haircut is to remind me as to who's paying for Masters. How's that sound?
Well, look, the only pain I have about haircuts is the fact that I can't have one anymore. So at least that's something on my hand.
Well, could you go in and have them shave it further, or
skin is as far as it'll go. I don't know if you know this or not.
scalp massage or something?
Yeah, the old Bugs Bunny Marriage of Figaro thing. Okay, how many of you are old enough for that? Jesus, never mind.
Nope.
John's like, nope, even I'm too young for that one.
Yeah, no idea what you're talking about.
So
right.
This is the U.S. Masters, and it will be the fourth one that I've attended. So
show off.
Hopefully I do better at this one than I did at some of the other ones.
Oh, you've done fine at all of these. Come on.
I am a solid 500 at Masters. I think overall my average is 500. So.
Well, then you should have won an award like John did, who was a solid 500 at Masters.
He was a bloody point ahead of me. 1 point.
Yep. Yeah, he was 1 point
that seems to be a theme, John.
He was in between the two of us.
What's this thing with you being 1 point ahead of me for awards?
I'm just that little bit better.
It's the mustache. Grow a mustache and you'll be able to do this.
So, Masters is taking place Atlantis Casino, July 25th to 27th, Reno, Nevada. If you want the details as to how to fly there, all that stuff, Bear has it, and Jeremy Falls posted it. So look it up.
You can contact Bear. She is a terrible travel agent. She can book you on the worst flight possible with all the connections.
We all like a Bear sighting. How you doing, Bear? Hey, Bear.
She's like, I'm good. I can't hear you because Dad has headphones in, so you're just a weird talking head on a screen.
I'll just do what I'm going to do in Europe and yell louder and make people understand me. Isn't that what we do?
I mean, that's what you do. Doesn't mean it works, but...
All right. Let's get into the pack here a little bit. So right?
Top part, location, which we went through. Friday night gaming starting at 4. I heard there's a shuttle from the airport to the casino, so you don't need to worry about that. And there's a shuttle from the casino back to the airport. So that should be easy to get in, get out. Saturday games begin at 9 a.m.
Yay. 9 a.m. Ooh.
Going to
it starts early. Did last year too.
Did it?
Yeah. Because you got to get through 3 games and then get home if you're going home.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And a 1 hour lunch break. So, yeah, hopefully they have food somewhere around there. Strike dice tournament. So bring your dollar bills to be lost.
Yep. That'll be the best part of the weekend.
It will, like it was last year.
But look at that start time on Sunday morning. Gosh.
Oh, this means
8:30. Oh, Jesus.
This will not be a Super Fun Ray then. Super Fun Ray likes to drink until at least 2 in the morning.
Absolutely.
He can do both things. He can drink till 2 in the morning and then get up early for his game. He's a grown man.
So you can be 3 and 3 again. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then done at 5:15. Awards done by 6. And my flight leaves that night at midnight.
Oh, you got plenty of time. You'll be fine.
Oh, you can definitely just fill yourself with courage the night before and hope for the best on Sunday. Yeah, you'll be fine.
So composition is 2,300 points. I have not heard of any erratas that have come out in the last couple of weeks. Have you guys?
No.
I don't check those. So
okay.
Well, I actually have been, and I haven't been seeing anything. I'm actually quite sad I'm not going, but you know.
So 2,300 points. Key thing is your lists are due by June 30th, end of day.
Ooh.
That's
So I'm
really
gonna give
soon.
5 days this weekend to sort through your list. What do you guys think the most common list will be?
It's a good
Ooh,
question.
let's put a dollar bet for when we meet up at King Beyond the Wall.
All right. Well, John.
Defense 6 dwarves.
See, I was going to go with that. I'm actually going to say I think it's going to be Abyssals this year. I really think it's going to be dwarves, but I think Abyssals might be coming in hot and heavy.
So you're going to bet Abyssals for number 2 spot, Ben?
I'm gonna bet the Abyssals from the number 2 spot. Yeah.
I think Twilight Kin might
See,
still be up there.
this was our exact pick for last year, and we were way off.
What was the most common last year? Oh, Northern Alliance was really
Oh,
common
Night Stalkers.
last year.
Night Stalkers for number 1.
That's a good
Night
pick,
Stalk. Yeah, it was Night Stalkers, Northern Alliance, and Ogres. Yeah, we thought Ogres were dead.
Yeah. Well, that was pre-Warlock and Siegebreaker nerfs and that. So Ogres were still good last year, but
Yeah, I don't think you'll see as many Ogre players this year.
so I'll go Night Stalkers. Ben, you're going Abyssal.
I'm going Abyssals.
Going,
Dwarves.
defensive
Regular
dwarves.
dwarves, not free dwarves. Well, if you guys get a whole faction, I get a faction. I'll take dwarves, but not free dwarves. Free dwarves,
Okay.
I don't think will be popular.
Okay. So hopefully we'll find out sometime in July, and we can do a commentary on the list, who's bringing what, anything that's super cool.
Yep.
Game rules, I don't see anything there that is shocking. No withdraw, no command. Sorry, withdraw is being used.
Withdraw is being used. Command dice is not being used. So that's normal.
They're playing dice down for 65 minutes.
Yeah, that doesn't
That's
surprise
fine.
me being Masters. I mean, sure. Like, I would like you to be able to finish that roll, but I guess that's not specific here. It's dice down,
Nope.
dice down.
Dice down. Clock out. You're done.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be lots of gentlemen who allow you to finish a combat, but dice down is dice down.
See, I'm still of the effect that finishing the combat you're doing is just fine. But
I agree with finishing the combat, but we found that finishing the phase is not cool.
No, it can be very long.
And painful.
Yeah.
So I wish they would have done finish the combat, but they've done pure dice down. So yeah. So don't screw up. Plan on playing in 65 minutes. I will have to speed up my process of how I play.
Well, you're gonna come by and get at least one more practice game in, right?
One more practice day. And clearly with Bear was suffering.
Hang on there, Bear is all over that shit.
She's having the worst day ever. She doesn't want to be up. She doesn't want to be down. She doesn't want to hang out. She doesn't want to be by herself. It's the worst when you're a small bulldog.
So I have it on good authority that they're working on the terrain so that all the terrain will be the same size across all 32 tables for Masters.
Okay.
That's a bold move. That's a lot.
Yeah, well, that was something that Countercharge has been trying to put into play for a while, isn't it? Like they've been trying to standardize everything.
Well, I was talking to the representative at Buckeater from the West, Zoot, I forget his name off the top of my head right now. I'll remember shortly. And he was one of the members working on it, and they are really conscious of the fact that they don't want like small terrain on table 15 and big terrain on table 14 and so forth. So they're working 3D printing,
Good for them.
all this terrain, so it's all going to be the same.
Well,
Good for them.
I think that would be a big. I know that happened at least one of the other Masters where like some tables had massive terrain and some tables had small, and it does play an impact on the way the games are played and how things, how things kind of drizzle out there. I mean, it's not fair if you go up against a shooting army and one guy, the first time he plays, it's these massive forests, and the second time around he's got clear lines all over the place.
So that should be really cool. As for terrain classifications, I don't see anything there that would be out of place in the northeast, like flat.
No, that's all normal.
Yep.
But here's the interesting part: scenarios. Pillage, push, dominate, invade, control, plunder, hold the line, and stockpile.
Yep. The only one I'm not like I've said it a few times on here. I'm not a fan of stockpile. I have a feeling that it's going to help one player or the other. Like I don't like the way that the setup is. I think it's overly complicated for what it needs to be. I'm just not a fan. But I mean, it might not come up. I think it's definitely coming up, but it might not come up. The rest of them, I got no problem. Invade seems a little bit too easy. Like that's basically two armies running at each other. Yes, I know everything is two armies running at each other, but invade might end up just being one person, deploying on one side of the table, one person deploying on the other side, and then one guy going, "Oh shit, you've got more unit strength than me," and then trying to pick it up from there.
I'm surprised there's no protect and raise.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that there are none of the hidden objective ones. Like I know that they're not played a lot.
I'm not surprised that there's no hidden objective ones. Nobody plays them. Like generally, very broad generalization, those do not see play very often. We hardly play them in our local tournaments.
But when I'm playing at the Masters, like those are the scenarios where I expect to see one of them being played, like one of those three.
No, because they don't get played any other time.
Well,
so why play those at Masters?
We play protect and raise a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
Sorry, not protect and raise. That's not the same scenario. The hidden objective ones, those I don't see getting played at Masters because they don't get played at regular tournaments.
That's fair. I'll accept
protect
that.
and raise. I'm surprised isn't on the list. I agree with that. I think it should have been.
Because I don't think you need to dominate, invade, control, and hold the line, which are all area control, unit strength based.
Yeah, basically, you need to be on this spot in the in the middle of the thing.
And if you're going to look at it, plunder and stockpile are very similar.
Yep.
Right. Tokens on the middle that you got to go pick up and move. Pillage isn't that far off that. And push is no one's favorite scenario.
No, but if they're, I guess if they're playing standard push now, but I wonder if the
That's still no one's favorite scenario because it's had so many rules upheavals that.
Well, that's the problem. Is there going to be are we playing this? You can score one token. Are we playing this? You can score up to your unit strength. Or we play like I have a feeling that's something I don't think.
Probably go with whatever's written in the rules right now.
Probably.
Because it's all on the app, right? So it's probably whatever's been updated. So whatever we're sitting at for that will be what they play, I bet.
Yeah, it would have been nice to. I think you're right. It would have been nice to have, like, maybe not smoke and mirrors, but the one Fool's Gold would have been something that would have been nice to have seen on here. And
when was the last time either of you played Fool's Gold?
I actually played it a few weeks ago.
In your garage?
In my garage, yeah.
Okay. Did I play it at Bug Eater? No. I played it last Mid-Atlantic tournament. The Mid-Atlantic tournaments often have one of them each tournament.
I mean,
I couldn't even tell you the last time I played it.
Yeah. They're not great. It's just that, it's Masters and let's throw a wrench into the thing.
So I played one at Vanguard and one at Nerdhammer this year. So I played 2 bluff scenario token events this year.
Out of how many events?
Well, I only went to 2 Mid-Atlantic tournaments, so that 2 for 2.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe it is more common.
Maybe it's more, but I get where you're going with this. But I agree with John what he's saying about the protect and raise. I really do like protect and raise,
and I like protect and raise as well. So I wish that one, and that one's a pretty good counter to gun lines.
Yes. Because especially now that you can score everything at the end of the game, that's a big positive.
So I think goblins probably like this scenario selection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ogres.
Yeah.
Possibly Abyssals. I think Abyssals will do well on a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see if the scenario is something that seems to make a big. If we're getting a lot of blackjacks or 7-0 wins and that sort of thing, maybe we'll figure this out.
Here's my hot take on this: is all of these turn into just fighting in the middle of the board?
Kind of does.
Like
maybe not pillage.
No, because pillage you line them up pretty much across from each other, and then you end up fighting. Pillage is when you can put them everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the only outlier then.
Yeah,
Push, you're going to end up tying up in the middle. Dominates the middle. Invade, you're going to tie up in the middle. Control, you tie up in the middle. Plunder, you tie up in the middle. Hold the line, you tie up in the middle. Stockpile, you tie up in the middle.
I would say of the 8, the 2 that are the least likely to tie up in the middle would be pillage and plunder.
Plunder,
push maybe.
Plunder, you're going to play line
football.
The tokens across the middle, and you got to go get them.
Yeah, but you can find here's the 2-pointers that I want and grab them, and
we'll see.
It's possible.
pillage is definitely the one where I would not play across.
Pillage. I was thinking of the other one where it's just regular raise where it's lined up across from each other.
Yeah, but you're right. All of these are toilet bowl scenarios at the end of the day.
Agreed. And push currently, as written in the rules, is a unit may not hold more than 1 loot counter for purposes of scoring. So that's probably how they'll play it.
Well, I hope they do, because that's very clear. Because that means if you're across the line, you can get 2 points.
Correct.
Yep.
Not across the line, you can get 1.
Yep.
But heaven help us for plunder and stockpile, where it's all by unit strength now.
Yeah. I'm curious on how that's, and I'm sure that the people who are running the Masters have had these conversations, and they're like, "Don't worry, we already have this all figured out." So,
plunder doesn't have a restriction like that. You just get 1 victory point for each counter you hold, and 2 for each of the 2-pointers.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but there's now a limit on loot counters, so it's under the loot counter description.
Oh,
yeah.
So the loot counter description is now that you cannot score more than what you have unit strength, which is where push gets really interesting, because can an ogre that crosses the line, ogre character, score 2 points, just 1? So push is you can score 1 token per unit. Everything else is you can score up to your unit strength.
Well, that's something they got to worry about, and you, right? We don't.
So I will definitely put that in the notes to this video as something the Masters needs to clarify before everyone shows up.
All right. Well,
John,
why don't we move on down here a little bit?
Yeah.
I don't think it's something anymore.
Home region exemption. You don't play each other for the first 4 games.
Which, as it should be.
Don't concede.
I'm glad they actually put that in the pack as well.
And then it's blackjack. I think everyone's happy with blackjack, but
well, until they come up with a better scoring system, I don't see one that
I don't see a restriction on carrying loot counters under loot counters anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe I'm hopefully wrong. So figure it out. So I think that's all the key details. Then it goes into the epic appearance and the 6 different layers of appearance categories. You have your exceptional armies. What I did note is that they didn't talk about how display boards would not be considered a factor in the army painting. When the Masters was at Washington, they were very clear. Display boards were not required, not considered part of the assessment. And I wish they would have made that explicit here, because if you're flying, you can't necessarily.
It's hard to travel aboard, yeah.
Yeah. So you have exceptional, which they're saying is the highest level of detail, advanced techniques, but there's no real description as to what that. Everyone knows what the best 5 armies are. I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out. But
Yeah.
Showcase, Tournament Standard Plus, Tournament Standard, Tabletop Standard, and below Tabletop Standard. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 standards. Like,
That's fine. That helps you speed categorize. When you got to go through 64 armies, it's a lot, right? So this helps you break it down into categories, and then you can fine tune if you feel like it later.
Last year there were 4.
Yeah.
This year there's 6.
I think that's fine. It's just a little more granular than last year for the breakdowns. I don't see an issue with that.
I doubt anybody's bringing a below tabletop standard.
There will be one. There will be one tabletop standard that will be 45 points below the top end.
You're not wrong. There will be one that is just.
Look, I'm a hopeful guy.
Not
everybody knows me how upbeat that I am.
Not everybody hobbies, right? There's lots of guys who just want to play the game. Not everybody loves the hobby part. And there are lots of guys who just bring what they have and play with what they got. And there's no shame in that. I don't think there'll be any below tabletop. But I don't think anybody's going to bring an unfinished army. I've never seen that happen at a 2-day GT even.
No. Sure. No, the only way I see something like that happening
unless you're playing Warhammer 40K, right, John?
Saw that at the last one I was at. All over the place. Just a sea of gray.
It's so nice. No, I mean, the only way I can see something like that happening if somebody has a catastrophe on the way.
And then if they got a Boron army because it's a catastrophe, no one's going to hold that against them.
No.
Stuff happens during travel. That's fine.
Yeah.
So,
sports, nobody cares about that. We can get through that pretty quick.
Players' choice.
Don't be a dick.
And then awards. Now, they have clarified that battle is number 1. So 1, 2, 3 for battle. And then it goes best overall, Paragon. So,
no, I think this should always be the way that the Masters is. I mean, hopefully the guy with the most amount of wins, or at least is undefeated, will always end up becoming the master sort of thing. The Paragon Awards I like. I always have, because it's kind of like, look, you did fantastic, and it allows those people who are just fantastic at everything to still get in with their first place.
Absolutely. Best appearance, sports, overall region is Paragon.
Yeah, it always has been.
And then they have best overall region for battle.
That's an interesting. I don't remember that last year.
No, I don't remember that is. And best region for paint and best region for boards.
So they're trying to load up on awards here.
They're trying to encourage the team aspect too, which I like.
Yeah.
And it's all 8 players, which will be fun.
Nice. Oh yeah, didn't they used to do top 4 or 5 or
top 3 or 4, and now it's all 8. So it's very clearly best overall.
Again, it also makes it makes you kind of pull together as a region to go, hey, I'm painting this. Hey, I'm bringing this. Does anybody have something that I can borrow that will match this sort of thing? Just to make sure that you're bringing, those sorts of things through. And much like what we do, play the practice games. Make sure you've got enough even in the Northeast chat where people are talking about lists and what they're expecting and that sort of thing. It's good to kind of pull that all together. I mean, we're all friends. I mean, there's nobody going to point and say we hate that region sort of thing. But it's always good when you're just trying to pull all of your guys up as well.
Except for the Mid-Atlantic, we can all agree we want them to lose, right?
Correct.
Well, unfortunately, that's okay. We don't have any listeners from there, do we?
I don't think anyone from the Mid-Atlantic listens to us, so we should be good.
We're not competitive enough for them. And if you are, please leave a comment down below. We would love to hear from you and call us dicks, because we are. So it's okay.
I do appreciate that they have the award hierarchy, Battle Paragon, and there we go. So, The example is pretty cool. If you're third in Paragon and first in sports,
Yes,
you win the
their
sport.
hierarchy is a hierarchy, except when it's not.
Yeah.
Which, sure, if that's how they want to do it, that's cool.
I don't fully understand it, but yeah, it's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the U.S. Masters Pack for everyone who's still listening and hasn't been busy scribbling their army list for submission by the 30th of June. Please get it out now.
Yep. And if you are listening to this and you do see the Masters Pack and you're like, oh, goddamn, like at least now some of these people can actually listen to the pack itself instead of actually doing that stupid thing called reading. No one wants to read. Reading is for chumps. What you should do is put your iPods in or whatever you listen to and listen to a decent podcast or one of ours.
Maybe one of the good ones, or us if you have no other choice.
I hear our army reviews are very well done.
That's true.
And not 6.5 hours long.
And if you're not going to Masters, you should really be considering coming up to King Beyond the Wall 6. It's taking place 8 to 10 August in Brantford, Ontario.
Yep,
it will be a good time. John has promised it.
I have promised it. It will be a good time. I stand by that.
This is at the same place as we held March of Death.
With the exact same food.
Yep. This is honestly one of the best deals you're going to get for coming out to a 2-day tournament where just about everything is taken care of with your ticket to the place. Like, look, we're Canadians. Well, I'm English, but we're Canadians. You know, we're going to make sure you do have a decent time there. We're going to have some fun. We're going to roll some dice. And our kids are not going to be around. So this is the perfect way to spend a weekend away from people in Canada. So you should come up and play. Get your tickets soon.
And if your wives want to come up, Niagara Falls is only an hour away. So they can go there and hang out in Niagara Falls.
This is true.
And if you're coming from the States, you can shop with our Monopoly money and just take home bags and bags of stuff.
Yeah, because it's like $1 is like
it is hilarious
400
right
Canadian.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like a peso at this point in time.
Well, on that note, do we have any final comments for?
Have fun at Masters if you're going.
Yep, you lucky bastard, Ray. If only it was a bridge too far this year. I hope to make the team again next year.
This year sucks, and next year we can go.
You sound so thrilled.
I paid visa for it, so I know.
All right. Well, with that being said, for John and for Ray, thank you all for listening, and we will see you again very soon.
Bye.